Well, it's Sunday morning. We got some snow. Looks to be about 6 inches, about, give or take. I'm filling up the skid loader with some fuel. It was running low on me. I gotta plow my ways for the feed buggy, for the milk wagon shuttle. This is the kind of snow that I really like because it's only about 30 degrees, so the snow in the cow barnyard up there, it melts, so I don't have to worry about hauling the snow out, so that's nice. But I'm gonna work towards here. Gotta go up and fill the milk buggy up, and yeah, we're gonna see how good it does in the snow here. I plowed a couple paths in front of my kennels. I gotta plow up at the top yet, and then I'm gonna fill her up and bring her down. So no new calves today. I checked that out. Yeah, it's a pretty nice morning. Filling up the buggy this morning. Takes a little while. We fill it up to about 80, and then I'll top it off to about 95 with water, because I feel like it's been a little much for the calves. I've been working at trying to make it a little bit more, not so thick. I don't know. I give them a little bit more volume, but I just add the water to it. I feel like it does something a little bit. We're trying that. And I had a little trouble with diarrhea in my bottle calves, my youngest ones, so for after they get their colostrum, I'm going to do a couple days worth of milk replacer just to see if that helps. I made up a couple bottles here for my younger calves. I have 4 bottles. I have another one in there. Yeah, I have 5 calves. I have a Land O'Lakes milk replacer. It's a 2220. I do think one of the stupidest things they ever did with milk replacers, they stopped giving cups. I think that they just said it was because it couldn't be measured right, but I think it's just because they were trying to cut down on the costs. So yeah, I'm gonna take this up and we're gonna feed these ones. My dad's out here plowing with the Kubota, making room for the feed wagon. We run our hospital feed out down there for the hospital group. I'm gonna try to get through the snow up here to feed these. We're feeding these 2 here, then there's one down there. The other 3 drink out of the bucket. Alright, we're going to take this thing out here and see if it slides down the hill. It's pretty icy. I'm actually going to start by going over here to that kennel to feed those. I have a couple moms there. So we're going to park this thing right here. We're going to go feed these first, then we'll get back to that. We're heading down the slippery slope. If I shut the wheels off, see this. Not too bad. Calves are ready to eat. Had my dump trailer hooked up from hauling the Mini around yesterday. Decided to put it in 4-wheel drive to get here because I didn't unhook it. I didn't quite expect this much snow. But we're We're gonna dump these waters. See, it's not that cold. The buckets aren't even froze. It makes it a lot easier. These calves have been drinking pretty good. It's not doing too bad for the first snow, but I don't know if once you get an ice layer built up, if it'll dry very good. I might have to haul it down with the buckets, the milk, just because it's not really worth it if it's spinning out and carrying on. Alrighty, off to the next one. I normally go around the back of the kennel there, but it's not really worth it. Let's give it a try, see if it dries through the deep snow. Push through. I only have, these are all on water here. I only have the end one. This one's the only one I still have in milk. She only gets 3 liters though. We're gonna try driving up this way just for the heck of it. Uh-oh. I need to give it a little help. Spinning. Made it. Needs some chains. I gotta dump all these waters and run this milk out of here, but I think we're proven to the fact that it can handle 6 inches. Not sure how it'll do in a foot of snow and ice, but yeah, not bad. Just figured real quick I'd show this calf here. She's got an all red head. She's very unique looking. I just thought she's neat. She's my favorite right now. But not that I don't like the others, but she's just a neat color. When you have the snow like this, the temperature seems to be dropping, so I want to make sure I get everything. I got the cattle trailer truck cleaned off. I'm going to clean off my trucks and just make sure snow's away everywhere that you don't want to freeze solid, because it's a lot easier to move it now than it is if you have to chip it off. So I got to clean up my feed tote. I want to make sure the lid's cleared off and all my paths are cleared pretty good. I'm gonna unhook my trailer and I'm gonna go clear off the driveway at my house. Alright, so it's the afternoon now, Sunday afternoon. Chasing some cows over here. Panning up the first group into the holding area. This is our barn here. Our barn's sort of backwards. The rows are that way instead of long ways. A lot of barns don't have a big barnyard like this. I'd say it's good for some things, bad for others. We scrape the barn out twice a day into this pit right here. We use a tractor. We'll pen the second group into the short rows here so we can fit them all in the holding area in about 2 batches. Pretty fortunate tonight and this morning the barnyard wasn't really frozen because it's been warm enough, but it's supposed to drop down to 13, I think, tonight, with a wind of like 15 mile an hour. So we're gonna have a little bit of a wind chill. They say the real feel is supposed to be like close to 0, maybe a little bit higher than 0, but we'll have to haul the outside of the barnyard, the bigger area outside the rows. We have to haul that scrape it up with the skid loader and haul it out with the manure spreader when it gets that cold. Sometimes, depending on how fast it gets cold, we can get away with the first night, but the second night always the second night below 15 degrees is almost guaranteed to need hauled out with the skid loader. So, but for tonight, I don't have to worry about it. It's pretty sloppy. We had about 6 inches of snow, so nothing too major, but it was a bigger storm for us here. We haven't had any, couldn't even really say, probably been 2 years since we had a snow that was about 6 inches or more. To me, it feels like this winter is going to be a little bit of a more brutal one. Seems like it came earlier and faster, and it's a little colder. So I'm gonna pen. I had to put some into the rows here because they didn't all fit in the holding area. But we're gonna pen these in. Come on. Come on. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Hop. We have a crowd gate from Hoover Ag. He's the one that designed that type of crowd gate. It's got 4 pipes that come down. I'll put it down in a second here. Come on, girl. We have a couple buttons. There's one right here I can push, and then it'll go down. Then there's a button in the parlor. They can push it. You push it once and it runs for like 10 seconds or something. And it also has a load trigger so that it doesn't overload and push the cows too hard. But that's a little tedious to adjust, but we're gonna close this gate out here. These cows coming up here are all ones that were milked already. They're able to come front here now. I'm gonna go get the tractor and I'm gonna start scraping on the other side. I'll grab a clip or 2 of that to show you guys the tractor and how it works. We keep our scraper tractor in this little shed here. It's a little TN60 with a tire scraper on the back. It's pretty handy. We lost our oil cap the other day. I just noticed it last night and I threw a rubber glove on it to keep the water out for now. Gonna have to figure something out there. So left-hand shifter, and it's got a bucket on the tire. Sawdust shooter. We put in sawdust about every day, every other day we put in, depending on what it's needed. Typically he puts it in the morning, but I think he's figuring since it's going to be so cold tonight, he wanted to make sure he had the bedding done tonight. Calves are looking pretty good this afternoon. This calf here had a little bit of loose manure, so I decided to give it a bottle with milk replacer instead of whole milk to try to help her. But everyone else is hungry and ready to eat. I'm gonna bring some milk down here in a minute. The water buckets were almost froze solid on the daytime, which means it's pretty cold. Normally they only freeze at night. So I'm gonna make sure I definitely dump them tonight before I go home, because they'll just be frozen anyway if they don't drink any. So this calf drank her whole bottle. I'm gonna go up and bring some milk down. I think I'm just gonna bring it with the buckets tonight because I don't feel like dealing with the milk shuttle. So with all the slippery stuff, it just isn't really worth it. We got our bucket of milk here. A bucket does about 6. That's what I shoot for anyway. That's the one I gave the bottle to. These ones are a little older, so they don't need quite as much. I'll give them a little bit more water instead. Gonna go get some more. I'm empty. Finished all up in the parlor here. To brace for the cold, our tarp is shrinking. So I have these pieces of cardboard I put along the back here to help keep the air out a little so the parlor doesn't freeze up. These tarps are not very nice. I guess it wouldn't be a tarp, it would be a curtain. They aren't very nice how they shrink over the years. They never make them long enough. So that's one of the things we have to do to keep from freezing overnight. Pull the hoses up toward the front and hope that the back ones don't freeze up. Since we have it being a little cold tonight, one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to get this little scraper that we got. We use it to push the feet up when the Juno don't work. So I'm going to grab that. It's a little slippery. Here we have a plug on the skid loader. I'll just take the cord here, plug it in. There we go, we're all plugged in. Now we're gonna say goodnight to the cows. And we're gonna go dump the calf waters. If we don't dump the calf buckets, they'll be froze solid in the morning. I give them a while to drink, and if they don't drink it by now, typically they're not going to drink much more. They usually all have some left, so that pretty well means that they're not going to drink it. I give them warm water because in the cold it just helps warm them up, sort of like hot chocolate. They just tend to drink a lot more when you give them warm. Alright, so I'm gonna go finish dumping these and we're gonna head home for the night. I gotta go and eat some leftover dinner from our Christmas lunch we had with some family. So that's good. We got some ham and potatoes. That'll be real good on this cold night. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and leave a comment. Catch you later.